Well, the business we're in is really securing crowded places. So I'm working for APSTEC Systems. APSTEC has been in the business for about 15 years or so. It's not a well-known company, so it's been investing in security and technology for a long, long time. But the big challenge for us is to find that right technology to protect crowded places, screening crowded places for the threats of terrorist devices and similar, to make sure that people can go about the business in a safe way without inconvenience, without lots of disruption, and without a lot of sort of secondary queues and that sort of thing. But the company's been not developed in isolation. So the product and the company has been working very much with NATO and a number of other government partners. So the sort of product that we're talking about today, Human Security Radar, is the product effectively of about 15 years of investment with NATO, governments and all the rest of it. So APSTEC itself is a relatively young company, it's a high-tech company, but its development has been brought along in conjunction with a lot of government and other agencies. So probably staying close to home. It is this crowded places, so I think out in the public areas there's a lot of vulnerability in crowded places, so transport networks, sporting stadia and the likes, it's very, very difficult to secure them effectively. So I think probably that's the big area, and I think that remains an issue out in London and elsewhere internationally today. You know, there's a lot of vulnerability, there's a lot of soft targets, and we think that with these sort of technologies you can do a lot to mitigate a lot of the risks quite simply. So I think it's interesting. So the security industry is very wide, very, very fragmented. So if you compare the security industry to the defense industry, the defense industry has got a much smaller number of organizations, companies, outward facing. It's very joined up and it's got some very, very big organizations. Security is very, very, very fragmented. So lots and lots of companies doing very, very similar things. I'm not sure you ever can move it into the defense space, but it makes it very, very difficult, A, for the user, because there are so many small to medium-sized companies. So I think more coherence maybe. You know, I know there's a lot of the trade associations are doing a great job, but I think maybe focusing more of the effort through trade associations and trying to get a bit more coherency would be good. So I think all the screening technology, so there are a lot of good companies out there, there's a lot of good technology. Obviously what we're doing, you know, we're very, very pleased with. I think when we started doing this 15 years ago, the threat was very different and continues to evolve. But I think that, you know, where we're getting this sort of technology to, and where other people are now starting to move technology in the screening, high throughput screening world, I think it's pretty exciting. And I think we're now, you know, we're in a very, very good place to make a real difference. So very interesting question. Not a lot in many respects, you know. I'm not kept awake at night. I sort of sleep very well until I wake up. So when I do wake up, probably it's work. It's a bit sad to say, but it's probably my things to do list comes tumbling down before my eyes and keeps me awake. And of course, you know, English rugby and that sort of thing occasionally keeps me awake. So this is the third year that we've been here now. I think the attendance is great, so it's got a really good feel. I think there are a lot of good companies here. So if you have a look at who's actually here, all the really big names, the people who you'd expect to be here, they're all here, which speaks volumes for the event in its own right. But I think in terms of the people we see very, very high quality people coming through. So a lot of government, a lot of officials, some very serious buyers, and you know, I think that's probably it for me.